What's up, guys? Steven here from Powell's Power Ups. Super late at night, can't sleep. But Alan's lightsaber here is done, so I'm going to do an overview video on it. He sent this to me to do a reinstall. Redid the chassis in it with the resin printer. Had a lot of fun with this one, spent a lot of time on it to add a lot of extra little cool stuff to make it a very unique lightsaber. It's already a very unique hilt, lots of red and black. My favorite colors, me being kind of a Sith dark side kind of guy. Those are the lightsabers I tend to lean towards. This one's pretty cool with the slits in the emitter so that the blade shines through. So we got a 11-pin custom saber shop connector for the blade connector. We got two 12mm AV switches, positive at the top, power at the top, auxiliary at the bottom. And then we got a cool little pummel here that screws off to kind of, so you can see your 28mm speaker down inside there. I got the blade in, so I can't turn it in front of the camera. Anyway, we'll just get to the chassis. That's the coolest part of this lightsaber. So Alan, just as a warning to you, man, just like all the other lightsabers I've ever done, once the lightsaber is disassembled and we pull that handle off, always handle the lightsaber by the metal upper end of the lightsaber. The chassis are delicate. They are susceptible to cracking and breaking. I wouldn't say they're super delicate, but I just want you to be very careful with it. I've noticed the resin printing can, in some cases, be a little more brittle. They like to kind of chip, I've noticed. It's a little bit different than FDM printing, but the details, wow, the payoff, right? So printed this one all in black, added a bunch of cool little stuff there on the side, painted it in silver to give it that metal look, like a brushed stainless steel. Added some red paint on some of the pieces to kind of match the hilt, copper on the piping. Got some holes in here for some accents that are underneath the CFX board. So let's talk about the accents. Lots of blinkies on this one. So because there's a small inner diameter inside of the handle there, I couldn't get the CFX, which is a pretty big board, directly over the top of the battery. I had to shift it down a bit. Especially where the SD card reader is. So I had a lot of empty room up here on this part on the opposite end of the battery. Obviously we got wire channels for our wires, but I decided to throw in a small LED strip, NeoPixel strip there. So we got this cool little resin printed cover. We got some wire mesh in there. Camera's not focusing. There, you can see it there. And then this cover just kind of sits over there, and the LEDs shine through it, right? And then on top of the Crystal Focus X board here, we have 06, 03 LEDs, okay? And then also because we got a lot of wires underneath, I wasn't able to get the bridged wires underneath the CFX like I normally would. I had to go on top. For the CFX, you want to bridge all the LED pads together so you're getting maximum amount of amperage to your NeoPixel blade so you can get all the brightness. If you want to access your SD card or your micro USB port, make sure the battery is removed. Just go ahead and pop out this cover that covers the NeoPixel strip, get underneath that CFX board, and you can pop it right up. You can see there, it pops up. If we look underneath, we can see the two little NeoPixels underneath there that illuminate the area underneath the CFX boards, which shine through these holes right here. Here's the CFX. We can access the SD card and all that. When you're done, just gently and carefully tuck the wires underneath the CFX. You're gonna press it back down into the chassis all the way down towards the speaker. Just gonna take your time when you do it. Get it fully seated. Use your thumb to keep it flat. Now those bridged wires here for the LED pads, I did put, you can see the liquid electrical tape. I did put that over those wires for added layer of protection, so we're not touching the inside of the metal hilt there. This cover, you just fits nicely right back into the chassis. Okay. And then the other end here is your battery compartment. We got positive end down here. You can see the red wires, so we know that's positive. Spring side is negative. Now, Alan, I realized when I did this install, I didn't have any batteries laying around, so I had to order a bunch. They're on the way, but they're from the custom saber shop, and guess what? They are black and red, so they'll perfectly match and look good inside of this chassis and saber. Even the label has some silver on it. But I do have this spare battery just laying around, so I'll use that for the demo. So when we pop the battery in, we're not pushing any pressure on the chassis. We're just pushing straight down into that spring. See how we can push down into that spring like that, and then we just pop the positive. And we just pop that positive end in, and then we can see all of our blinkies, right? So we got our NeoPixel strip here just doing an up and down dance, and then we got the 06, 03 LEDs on the board doing the same thing. And then we can see through the holes here, those two LEDs underneath the CFX are just pulsing, right? So when you kick the blade on, this strip, okay, and the LEDs underneath the CFX board are just gonna mirror whatever the main blade is doing, the color and effects. But these little LEDs will always be red, and they'll do their own little effects. So here we go. Pretty sweet. Oh, I'm in the graphics blade.
Blade profile. Color profile. Blade profile. Spectrum. Blade profile.
So there it is, man. That one's all done. I'll be working on your other one over the next week or so, and I'll get both of them finished and out to you probably before Christmas. Hope you enjoy it.